Dear citizens of Russian Federation, dear veterans, dear soldiers, Marines, sergeants, dear officers, generals and admirals, congratulations on the great victory, defense of our country is a sacred thing. It always has been. These feelings of the patriotism were important. They were used in Borodino fighting, when there was fighting in Kiev and Minsk, Stalingrad, Kursk, Kharkov. And now, during these days, you are fighting for our people in Donbass, for the security of our country, Russia. 9th of May 1945 became a day of triumph, and it became a history, showed the unity of our Soviet people and the brave actions on the front line and in the back. There is no family in this country that hasn't got somebody who took part in the war. Children and grandchildren are carrying the pictures of their family members who died. We are proud for this generation. We are proud to be their people. We follow their advice, and they told us to do everything to stop the horror of the global war so that it doesn't happen again. In the international relations, Russia always was for this system of equality. In December last year, we suggested to have a security agreement. Russia urged Europe to find a fair compromise, including interests of everyone, but that was in vain. They didn't want to hear us, and that means they had completely different plans, and we can see that. They were preparing a punishing operation in Donbass to intrude on our historic land. In Kiev, they were saying that they might get nuclear weapons, and NATO started exploring the lands close to us. And that became an obvious threat to our country and to our borders. Everything was telling us that there is a need to fight with banderovцы and fascists. I will repeat, we saw how they start and develop military infrastructure. There were constant supplies of the most modern military equipment. The danger was growing every day, and Russia acted. That was the only decision and the right decision of an independent, sovereign, strong country. The United States of America, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, started talking about their unique nature, diminishing people. But we are a different country. Russia has got a different character. We will never refuse our love and respect for the traditions and respect of traditions of all the cultures. The degradation of morality of the West and also denying the bravery of those who worked hard to earn the victory. We know that there were veterans who wanted to participate in today's parade, but they were denied this possibility. I want to tell you, we are proud of what you've done, your contribution to the victory. Americans, British, French, brave soldiers who contributed to destroying Nazism. Today, Donbass fighters and soldiers of Russia are fighting on their own land, where we had soldiers of Remantsev and Potemkin, where the heroes of the Great Patriotic War, Vatutin, Sidor Kovpak, Lyudmila Pavlichenko, were fighting. Today, I want to address our armed forces and Donbass fighters. You're fighting for the victory of your land, so that nobody forgets the lessons of the Second World War. Today, we respect the memory of those who died during the Second World War, to commemorate those who were fathers, mothers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends. We respect those who died in Odessa, in the house in Odessa in 2014. We also commemorate the memory of those who died because of the neo-Nazis and those who were fighting for Russia. We announce a minute of silence.
If you're just joining us, this is the military parade, the victory parade in Moscow, live, a minute's silence called for by President Putin for the Russians who've lost their lives, not only in the Great Patriotic War, as the Second World War is known there, the 20 million plus Russians, but also the soldiers who have lost their lives fighting for their country in the Donbass, as he put it, the sovereign country belonging to Russia. This parade, slightly smaller than the one last year, about a third the size, we understand, some 11,000 troops, 77 aircraft we're anticipating, military vehicles as well. Our security correspondent, Frank Gardner, is alongside me, who I'll bring in a moment, actually, because President Putin now addressing the crowds there, and indeed Russians across state media. Let's just listen in again.
Companies, enterprises and public organizations will do everything to help those families, to provide special assistance to children of those who were wounded or who lost their lives. And I signed a decree about this. I wish speedy recovery to those who were wounded. I want to thank medical staff working in hospitals for their hard work, and those who are trying to save every single life without sparing theirs. Dear comrades, today, here and now, in the Red Square, shoulder to shoulder, soldiers and officers are standing from many different regions of our country, including those who came right from Donbass, directly from the war zone. We remember how the enemies of Russia were trying to use the gangs of international terrorists, trying to put the seeds of religious hatred. They didn't succeed. Today, the fighters of different nationalities are fighting together, covering each other from the shrapnels. And that shows that we are united. Today you are defending what your fathers and grandfathers and great-great-fathers were fighting for, who saw security of their country as their priority. This is the biggest value that Russia relies on. Those who fought Nazis showed us their bravery. This was the generation of victorious troops. Glory to our armed forces. Hooray to Russia.
So the Russian national anthem following President Putin's address, and now we watch live as the start of the parade, the victory parade, commemorating, celebrating Russia's victory over Nazi Germany, with the loss of some 20 million or more Russian lives in that conflict, which Russia calls the Great Patriotic War. But President Putin very clearly linking the bravery and the symbolism of that conflict with events in Ukraine.